Tamis, welcome to A House for Arts. It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
So tell me about the Albany Institute of History and Art. What does it do? What can people find there?
Well, so the Albany Institute was founded in 1791. We're the oldest museum in New York State, second oldest in the country. And as you can imagine, we've had a very long history, 229 years. So what I think is interesting about the museum that we've been collecting all during this whole time period. So we have about 35,000 objects and 1 million documents in our library collection, which is a very exciting collection that a lot of people use. And when we first opened our doors in the location where we are now, in 1909, the board of directors said it was just like the Met, just like the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And if you walked in, you would have seen art, decorative arts, historical artifacts, and ethnographic materials from all over the world. Right. But I'd like to say in 1926, the Albany Institute, cooler heads prevailed, and we decided to be a regional museum, and that everything that is in our collection has some documented relationship to the art, history, and culture. And we have contemporary art and 17th century art, so it all has a relationship. So what we do with our collection is we really tell stories.
Why is it important for a museum to have a collection that really connects to the region and the local community, if I understand you correctly?
Yeah, well, you know, museums can be art museums, history museums, science museums, but the Albany Institute is a museum of history and art. So that means we're really collecting materials that were made by people who lived in the Hudson Valley, owned by people who lived in the Hudson Valley, or to people who traveled there. I mean, it is a broad collection, and I like to think that every object, if it has, could have one story, it could have multiple stories. And I think that intersection of objects, stories, the people who made them, the people who own them and use them, is really engaging for people.
What recent exhibition or program have you had at the Institute that you think really embodies this spirit?
So always hard to choose, but I think we have two exhibits that I think are really relevant. One is the Hudson River School, which is a 19th century style of landscape painting that very popular in the Hudson River Valley and throughout the world. So the Albany Institute right now, we have 83 paintings on view. It's probably the largest collection of Hudson River School paintings on view anywhere, because we have devoted a huge gallery. And we also have the connection of the Cole House down in Catskill with Thomas Cole, one of the founders, and Frederick Church at Olana. So, a lot of people come to the Hudson Valley to see the Hudson River School, visit the houses, and then they can come and see 83 paintings. So that's very exciting.
The Hudson River School, they've done a lot of paintings of the Adirondacks, for instance, right?
Yes, Adirondacks, White Mountains, around the world. You can have paintings from Antarctica or Egypt. So, it's a really far-flung, with lots of artists. But the other show that I think is really relevant for our community is the Mohawk Hudson Regional. This is an ongoing exhibition. The Albany Institute started it in 1936. Wow. So this exhibition has been presented every year, 84 years. And in 1971, we were joined with partners. The Schenectady Museum and the Art Museum at the State University. More recently, the Hyde Collection joined as one of our partners. So this exhibit rotates, and it really showcases the artists who are living and working in our region. So it's an exhibit that we all look forward to every year, and it really celebrates the artists. And I know you've had a lot of these artists on the show here over the years as well. So
yeah,
that's
great.
On view right now at the Albany Institute.
That's fantastic. Tamis, tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you become executive director of the Institute? Do you have a background in the arts?
Yes, to be where I am right now, yes. I actually was living in India, and I was studying anthropology, actually food as relates to religion and all sorts of things.
Oh, wow.
And I decided
Sounds very good.
It
Sounds
was
tasty.
fun. It was tasty. Oh, it was a lot of fun. Who doesn't like to try out new foods? But anyway, I was there and I was thinking that, in order to spend your life to get involved and really understand a culture and a place, I'd come back to the States. So I have a degree, a master's degree in museum studies and American culture and that type of thing, and got an internship at the Albany Institute. And was the chief curator for about 35 years, and now the director. So along the way, I've learned new things.
Right.
They've all been exciting, new skills, new challenges, and that type of thing.
Right. So, Tamis, you've learned a lot about museums over your many years of working in museums before and after becoming executive director at the Institute. What have you learned about the roles that museums and local communities should play in each other's lives, in a sense? Because museums do have lives.
Yes, they do have lives, and their lives change with the needs of the community. So I think it's extremely important that a museum is a place for the community, a place where people come and see exhibits, they enjoy meeting their friends, they bring their children to the art-making activities, they enjoy lectures, they come to the shop, we have a cafe. So you want to be a center for your community life. I mean, that's one area that it's important to be reflective of your community as well, and making sure we have exhibits that are of interest to a variety of different people. Yeah. We also have people who are tourists who are coming in from, in some cases, from around the world, and that's also an important audience. But to me, if your community doesn't know you and they don't come to the museum and partake in things, you know, then we need to reach out more and be more engaging to larger communities in our area. And things do change. Exhibits bring in different people for different interests and education programs. But you know, you're always looking for that sweet spot that people really enjoy and have a good time when they come to the museum.
Right. So it sounds like museums are important spaces for gathering people together, and also it's important that they're accessible in some way or another for different people. What are some of the challenges you're dealing with now that there are these restrictions because of COVID and physical distancing? How is the Institute kind of grappling with and tackling those issues?
Yeah, very good question, I think, for all of us. But you know, we closed our doors like many other museums and institutions and places in March. And we immediately went to a program called Museum at Home. So we did a lot of virtual programming, blogs, art making kits, videos, and so that people were still connected to the museum and still could engage and have virtual lectures and things like that. So we're going to continue to do that forever, I think, now, because once you come up with plans, you can continue doing it. It's a great way to access the museum. But we opened our doors on July 25th. We follow all the CDC guidelines. We have social distancing with posted gallery, you know, how many people can be in a gallery. Obviously masks. NIPR is our icon for making sure people wear masks. And we're probably about 40% of our traditional audience at this particular time, which is quite a bit, is larger than the national average. Yeah. So we're happy about that. We're, a medium museum. People come into the galleries, they feel safe, which is very, very important. Right. And of course, we have footprints here, there, and everywhere. So, just to remind everybody about, keeping safe. So we really feel the museum is a safe place.
The programs sound awesome. Can you tell viewers how they can find some more information about the Institute? What are the best ways to go and visit the Institute? And maybe one show that you have up right now.
Yeah, so our website is really the best, albanyinstitute.org.
Okay.
We have lots of materials on that, Museum at Home, landing pages, so there's a lot to go through. We even have virtual tours of the museum that we have been doing a little bit more on since our closure and that type of thing. So exhibits that we have on now, I mentioned the Mohawk-Hudson Regional Exhibition, which occupies the entire first floor. We also have an installation on sound art, where the artist was inspired by Samuel F.B. Morse and in the Morse code, which is tapping. for
Oh, wow.
communication.
Yeah, no, we've all heard of Morse code.
Morse code. So that's
Yeah.
Samuel F.B. Morse. He started his life out as an artist and then moved on to invent this Morse code. And this sound artist was interested in the tapping and then also related it to artists, these two sisters, the Fox sisters, who thought they'd get involved in that. And they held spiritual seances and tapping, and all was going along very well because they were communicating until the hoax was discovered. So that's a really interesting show to come and see.
Right.
And then for the political year, we mounted a show on broadsides. And these are political broadsides from the 1790s to about 1810. What's interesting about that is that most people didn't know there were political broadsides that early. So our show has attracted the attention of scholars because you can rewrite history with these early political broadsides. The idea they didn't exist until the 1818.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting show to come and see.
That is exciting. It sounds like scholars are also discovering this kind of earlier timeline or scope along with the public and
Right.
general audiences that come to the museum.
Absolutely. And as far as, recounts of elections and, accusations of voter this, voter that, that's been going on forever. So that, so there's a lot of that kind of information that's in the show. And then we have another exhibition highlighting conservation and how paintings are cleaned and the process of bringing paintings back to life when you take off all the dirt and the grime and the varnish that has discolored. And so there's a wonderful exhibit highlighting that process. So always a lot to see.
Those all sound absolutely amazing. Tamis, thank you for being on A House for Arts.
Well, thank you very much.